वन्दे मातरम्।
उत्तर में रखवाली करता पर्वत राज विराट है, दक्षिण में चरणों को धोता सागर का सम्राट है। जमुना जी के तट को देखो गंगा का ये घाट है, बाट बाट में हाट हाट में यहाँ निराला ठाट है। देखो ये तस्वीरें अपने गौरव की अभिमान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्।
चेक चेक।
ये है अपना राजपुताना नाज से तलवारों पे, इसने सारा जीवन काटा बरछी तीर कटारों पे। ये प्रताप का वतन पला है आजादी के नारों पे, कूद पड़ी थी यहाँ अंगारों पे। बोल रही है कण कण से कुर्बानी राजस्थान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्।
देखो मुल्क मराठों का ये यहाँ शिवाजी डोला था, मुगलों की ताकत को जिसने तलवारों पे तोला था। हर पर्वत पे आग जली थी, हर पत्थर एक शोला था, बोली हर हर महादेव की बच्चा बच्चा बोला था। शेर शिवाजी ने रखी थी लाज हमारी शान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्।
जलियांवाला बाग ये देखो यहीं चली थी गोलियां, ये मत पूछो किसने खेली यहाँ खून की होलियां। एक तरफ बंदूकें दंदन एक तरफ थी गोलियां, मरने वाले बोल रहे थे इनकलाब की बोलियां। यहाँ लगा दी बहनों ने भी बाजी अपनी जान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्।
ये देखो बंगाल यहाँ का हर चप्पा हरियाला है, यहाँ का बच्चा बच्चा अपने देश पे मरने वाला है। ढाला है इसको बिजली ने भूचालों ने पाला है, मुट्ठी में तूफान बंधा है और प्राण में ज्वाला है। जन्मभूमि है यही हमारे वीर सुभाष महान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्।
Namaskar, Assalamualaikum, and a very warm welcome to all the distinguished members of the Indian community, students and teachers from various Indian schools, officers and colleagues from the embassy. Greetings on the special occasion of the 75th anniversary of the Indian independence. It gives me great pleasure to welcome especially all our friends who have joined us virtually, as this event is being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube sites of the Embassy of India, Abu Dhabi. एक बार फिर तहे दिल से आप सबका स्वागत है। As we begin our celebrations, I request all the guests to follow all COVID-19 related health protocols and the social distancing norms at all times. Please remember to wear your face masks even while taking the photographs. Kindly refrain from taking them off even in the auditoriums. Sanitizers have kept at various places around the venue and can be used as per your convenience. I request you all to please put your phones on silent mode or switch them off during the entire ceremony. Water bottles have been kept near the entrance. Do keep yourselves hydrated on this sunny, humid morning. We will commence the ceremony with the hoisting of the national flag, by the ambassador, which will be followed immediately by the national anthem. Post that, we will proceed towards the auditorium, where the ambassador will share a summary of the remarks of the Honorable President of India and share his own thoughts on this historic occasion. We will then be treated to a lovely cultural program recorded by the Indian Council of Cultural Relations for this special occasion. In a short while from now, the national flag will be hoisted by Ambassador Shri Pawan Kapoor, followed by the national anthem. I request you all to please join in singing the national anthem. Thank you.
आओ बच्चों तुम्हें दिखाएं झांकी हिंदुस्तान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम,
आओ बच्चों तुम्हें दिखाएं झांकी हिंदुस्तान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम।
उत्तर में रखवाली करता पर्वत राज विराट है, दक्षिण में चरणों को धोता सागर का सम्राट है। जमुना जी के तट को देखो गंगा का ये घाट है, बाट बाट में हाट हाट में यहाँ निराला ठाट है। देखो ये तस्वीरें अपने गौरव की अभिमान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम।
ये है अपना राजपुताना नाज से तलवारों पे, इसने सारा जीवन काटा बरछी तीर कटारों पे। ये प्रताप का वतन पला है आजादी के नारों पे, कूद पड़ी थी यहाँ अंगारों पे। बोल रही है कण कण से कुर्बानी राजस्थान की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती है बलिदान की।
वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम।
Request everyone to please proceed towards the auditorium. The first 2 rows are reserved. Once again, I
देखो
request
मुल्क
everyone
मराठों
to
का
please
ये
continue
यहाँ
keeping the
शिवाजी
face
डोला
mask
था,
on and
मुगलों की
maintain social
ताकत को
distancing
जिसने
even while
तलवारों
sitting.
पे
Thank you very
तोला
much.
था। हर पर्वत पे आग जली थी, हर पत्थर एक शोला था, बोली हर हर महादेव की।
भारत के पास तो गर्व करने के लिए अथाह भंडार है, समृद्ध इतिहास है, चेतनामय सांस्कृतिक विरासत है। इसलिए आजादी के 75 साल का ये अवसर एक अमृत की तरह वर्तमान पीढ़ी को प्राप्त होगा कि आजादी के 75 साल का अवसर कितना ऐतिहासिक है, कितना गौरवशाली है। इस पर्व में शाश्वत भारत की परंपरा भी है, स्वाधीनता संग्राम की परछाई भी है और आजाद भारत के गौरवान्वित करने वाली प्रगति भी है। आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव यानी आजादी की ऊर्जा का अमृत, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव यानी स्वाधीनता सेनानियों से प्रेरणाओं का अमृत, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव यानी नए विचारों का अमृत, नए संकल्पों का अमृत, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव यानी आत्मनिर्भरता का अमृत। और इसलिए ये महोत्सव राष्ट्र के जागरण का महोत्सव है। ये महोत्सव सुराज्य के सपने को पूरा करने का महोत्सव है। ये महोत्सव वैश्विक शांति का विकास का महोत्सव है। फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल आइडियाज एट 75, achievements at 75, actions at 75 और resolve at 75।
Once again, a very warm welcome to everyone who's joined us live here as well as virtually. I would now like to request Ambassador Pavan Kapoor to kindly share the message of Honorable Rashtrapati Ji to the nation, followed by his remarks on the occasion of the 75th Independence Day of India. So.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you and a very, very happy Independence Day. As you just heard, I will start by reading the remarks made by the President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, last evening in Delhi on the eve of India's Independence Day, and then I will have a few words to share of my own. So this is the remarks that he made last evening. My dear fellow citizens, namaskar. It is a matter of great joy for me to wish all Indians living in India and abroad a very happy Independence Day. This day has a special significance as it marks the beginning of the 75th year of India's independence, for which Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is being celebrated. My hearty congratulations to you all on this momentous occasion. Independence Day is a festival of freedom for us. This was made possible by generations of freedom fighters, some known, many unknown. They made great sacrifices. Today, you and I breathe under free skies thanks to their heroic deeds. I bow in respect to the pious memory of those brave martyrs. Our nation, like many others, suffered great injustices and tyranny under foreign rule. What distinguishes India, however, is that the character of our nationalist movement, led by Mahatma Gandhi, was based on the principles of truth and non-violence. He and all other national heroes provided us with an invaluable blueprint to not only liberate the nation from colonial rule, but also to rebuild it. Gandhiji's struggle was for a return to Indian ethos and for human dignity. Now, as we look back to the 75-year journey of our republic, we have reasons to be proud of the considerable distance we have traveled. Gandhiji taught us that slow and steady steps in the right direction are preferable to rapid strides in the wrong direction. The world looks up to the miracle of India, home to the plurality of traditions, and yet the biggest and most vibrant democracy. In the recently concluded Tokyo Olympics, our sportspersons have brought laurels to the nation with their stellar performances. India has won the highest number of medals in the 121 years of its participation in the Olympics. Our daughters have achieved world-class excellence in playgrounds, overcoming many adversities. Along with sports, epoch-making changes are taking place in the participation and success of women in all walks of life, from higher educational institutions to the armed forces, from laboratories to the playgrounds. Our daughters are making their mark. In this success of our daughters, I see a glimpse of a developed India of the future. I urge every parent to learn from the families of such promising daughters and provide opportunities for their daughters also to explore avenues of growth. Like last year, this year too, the scale of Independence Day celebrations have been reduced due to the pandemic, yet our hearts remain filled with enthusiasm. The intensity of the pandemic has come down, but the coronavirus has not yet gone away. We are yet to come out of the devastating effects of its recurrence this year. Last year, with exceptional efforts from all, we had succeeded in bringing the spread of infections under control. Our scientists had succeeded in developing vaccines in a very short time. Therefore, at the beginning of this year, there was every reason to be hopeful as we launched the largest vaccination exercise in history. Yet, due to the new variants and other unexpected factors, we suffered from a terrible second wave. I'm deeply sad that many lives could not be saved, and many more suffered immensely in this phase of an unprecedented crisis. I speak for the whole nation when I say that I share the grief of all the affected families with the same intensity. The science is coping with this invisible enemy of terrible might with remarkable speed. We can take solace from the fact that more lives have been saved than the lives lost. It was our collective determination to overcome the challenge that helped us see the weakening of the second wave. Once again, our coronavirus warriors, the doctors, nurses, and health workers, the administrators and others risked everything to contain the impact of the second wave. The second wave brought our public health infrastructure under stress. The reality is that no infrastructure, even of advanced economies, could withstand a crisis of such enormous proportions. Efforts were made on a war footing to plug the gaps. The leadership rose to the challenge, and the government's endeavors were supplemented by initiatives of the states, private sector healthcare facilities, civil society, and others. In this extraordinary mission, foreign nations shared the essentials generously, just as India had reached out to many nations with medicine, equipment, and vaccines. I am grateful to the global fraternity that came forward with a helping hand. Due to these efforts, the nation breathes a sigh of relief with the return of a semblance of normalcy. If we have learned our lessons well, we know that this is the time of extra care and caution. We shall not let our guard down. Vaccines are the best possible protection science offers to us. Under the world's biggest vaccination program going on in our country, more than 50 crore fellow citizens have been vaccinated so far. I urge all eligible citizens who are yet to get vaccinated to do so at the earliest and to inspire others. The economic impact of the pandemic is as disastrous as its health impact. The government has been concerned about the lower middle classes and the poor, as well as about the small and medium industries. It has been sensitive to the needs of the laborers and of employers who have been facing hardships due to lockdowns and movement restrictions. This year also, the government had distributed food grains to about 80 crore people in May and June. This benefit has now been extended till Diwali. Moreover, the government has announced a new stimulus package worth rupees 6,28,000 crore to boost the selected COVID-affected sectors. In particular, it's heartening to note that an amount of rupees 23,220,000 crores, 23,220 crores is being spent over 1 year for expansion of medical facilities. It is heartening to note that rural India, particularly the agriculture sector, has kept growing against all odds. In a recent visit to my ancestral village, Paronk, in Kanpur Dehat district, I was quite pleased to find that better infrastructure is being developed to make life better for people in rural areas. The psychological distance between the urban and rural is now much less as compared to the past. After all, India lives in its villages, which cannot be allowed to lag behind in development. That is why special campaigns, including the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, are being implemented for the welfare of our farmers. These efforts are consistent with the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant India. With abiding faith in the inherent capacity of the economy, the government has further opened up defense, health, civil aviation, power, and other sectors. The government's new initiatives to promote eco-friendly, renewable sources of energy, particularly solar power, have won praise around the world. If there is an improvement in the ease of doing business, it has a positive impact on the ease of living for all. In addition to these, special emphasis is being given to public welfare. For example, the dream of having a home of one's own is being realized thanks to rupees 70,000 crore credit-linked subsidy scheme. The series of agricultural marketing reforms will empower our Annadata farmers and help them to get a better price for their produce. These are some of the measures the government has taken to unleash the potential of every Indian. Dear fellow citizens, a new dawn is rising in Jammu and Kashmir. The government has initiated the process of consultation with all stakeholders who have faith in democracy and the rule of law. I urge the people, especially the youth of Jammu and Kashmir, to utilize this opportunity and work on realizing their aspirations through democratic institutions. With all-round progress, India's stature in the international arena, as it was reflected in our participation in several key multilateral forums, as well as in consolidating bilateral relations with several countries. When India won independence 75 years ago, many skeptics thought democracy would not survive in India. Little did they know that roots of democracy were nurtured in this soil in ancient times. And even in modern times, India was ahead of many Western nations in offering franchise to all adults, regardless of any distinctions. The founding fathers had reposed their faith in the wisdom of the people, and we, the people of India, have made India a strong democracy. We have adopted the system of parliamentary democracy. Therefore, our parliament is the temple of our democracy, which provides us the highest forum where we discuss, debate, and decide issues for the well-being of our people. It is a matter of great pride for all Indians that our parliament will soon be housed in a new building. It will be a fitting statement of our outlook. It will honor our legacy while also walking in step with the contemporary world. it is more than symbolic that the new building will be inaugurated in the year of the 75th anniversary of independence. The government has planned many initiatives to make this special year memorable, and the most exciting of them may as well be the Gaganyaan mission. Pilots of the Indian Air Force have been receiving training abroad. When they fly off into space, India will become only the fourth nation on the planet to carry out a manned space mission. When it comes to the flights of our ambitions, we don't let any limitations define us. Yet we keep our feet on the ground. We acknowledge that we still have a long way to go in realizing the dreams of those who won the freedom for us. Our Constitution neatly summarizes those dreams in 4 words: justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. We must strive for more equality in the unequal world, more justice in unjust circumstances. Justice has come to encompass a large range of connotations, including economic and environmental justice. The road ahead is not easy. We will have to negotiate many twists and turns, but we will have the benefit of incomparable guidance. It comes to us from diverse sources, from the venerable seers of millennia ago, down to the sages and leaders of more recent times. In the spirit of unity and diversity, we as a nation are following the right course. This vision, derived from the unique Indian heritage, is going to be helpful not only to us, but to the whole world in this century. Modern industrial civilization has posed serious challenges before humankind. Climate change has become a reality of life, with sea rising, glaciers melting, and temperatures soaring. India is proud of not only adhering to the Paris Climate Agreement, but doing more than what the country has committed to protect the climate. However, the world desperately needs a course correction. That is why the world is increasingly turning to the wisdom of India. As created by the authors of the Vedas and Upanishads, as depicted in the Ramayana and Mahabharata, as taught by Lord Mahavir, Lord Buddha, and Guru Nanak, and as reflected in the lives of the likes of Mahatma Gandhi. Learning the art of living in tune with nature requires effort. Gandhiji says, but once you establish a relationship with rivers and mountains, birds and animals, nature reveals its secrets to you. Let us resolve to listen to this message of Gandhiji and also to make sacrifices for the sake of the land we live in. The spirit of patriotism and sacrifice was paramount among our freedom fighters. They faced all kinds of challenges without caring for their own interests. I have seen that in the face of the corona crisis, lakhs of people have taken enormous risks to protect others with the spirit of selfless service for humanity. I convey my profound appreciation for all such COVID warriors. Many of them succumbed to COVID-19. I pay homage to them. Recently, on the occasion of Kargil Vijay Divas, I wanted to visit the Kargil War Memorial, Dras in Ladakh, to pay homage to our brave soldiers. But due to bad weather, it was not possible for me to reach that monument. On that day, I paid homage to our brave soldiers at the Dagger War Memorial in Baramulla. That memorial has been built in the memory of all soldiers who made the supreme sacrifice in their line of duty. While appreciating the valor and sacrifice of those brave warriors, I noticed that the war memorial has a motto inscribed, Mera har kaam desh ke naam, which means each and every deed of mine is for the nation. All of us should imbibe this motto as a mantra and work with full devotion and dedication for the development of the nation. I would like that all of us come together to take India forward on the path of progress with the spirit of keeping the interest of the nation and society foremost. I extend my greetings especially to the members of the armed forces who have guarded our freedom, valiantly and gladly making supreme sacrifice when necessary. I also extend my greetings to members of the Indian diaspora who have represented the motherland well wherever they have made their home. I once again congratulate all of you on the eve of India's 75th Independence Day. While celebrating this anniversary, I cannot stop my mind from imagining a powerful, prosperous, and peaceful India of 2047 when we celebrate 100 years of our independence. I wish that our people come out of the difficulties caused by the COVID pandemic and move ahead to the path of happiness and prosperity. Once again, my best wishes to all of you. Thank you. Jai Hind. So as you heard the President make it very clear, we have on this 75th anniversary of our independence, the launch of the 75th Independence Day, we have the government has decided to celebrate this as an Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And the focus is on the next 25 years. What is the kind of country that we would like to be in 25 years when we celebrate our centenary? So it's a call to thinking, to working together, to collaborating. The other call that has been made by our Prime Minister has been to have this as a Jan Utsav, or a celebration of the people. So how can we, as a people, mark this occasion in ways that are useful for people, in ways that celebrate our rich heritage, our traditions, but also look towards the future. So we as an embassy will be looking for opportunities to mark this occasion in collaboration with representatives of the community in different forms. But if you would like to do things on your own also, please do just keep us informed so that we can take stock of the activities that we do in this country, which has the largest diaspora from India all over the world. So we must always keep that in mind. I also want to thank everybody here for the wonderful contribution that they've made to another initiative launched by the government a few days ago, which was called the Rashtragan, or singing of our national anthem. And we've had almost 40,000 people from the UAE who were able to record their singing of the national anthem and put it on this website and collect their certificates. I think this was, if I'm not mistaken, the second highest from all over the world. We don't have the latest figures. They'll be coming in this morning as of last night, but it's a great celebration and great thing that everybody contributed in such a big way. I want to mention that we have had some progress, in fact considerable progress since last year in terms of the situation here. The very fact that today, unlike last year when we just stuck to embassy personnel and did our flag hoisting in even quieter circumstances, the fact that we can have some of you representatives of the community associations and remarkable individuals to be with here is a reflection of the progress that is being made. And I want to particularly thank Mr. Mohan Jashanmal for coming here today also, a Pravasi Bharatiya Saman representative. As you heard the President say, this is the time for extreme caution. So we have to keep observing all protocols and making sure that we try and stay as safe as possible and continue getting vaccinated amongst those who are still able to but have not done so. So I hope that message will be spread out to the community if there are still people who are eligible to get vaccinated and have not done so. Now, I know that one of the things that has been a concern for the large community here has been the problem of return of our residents who had gone to India but then were unable to come back because of restrictions imposed by the UAE authorities. You would have seen that just about 10 days ago, the return of these residents has started. Although it is initially with those who were vaccinated in the UAE, we are working closely with the UAE authorities to expand this, and we hope that other categories will also start coming back soon. You also saw that the Dubai authorities have already extended those visas of people who were whose visas expired during this time they were stuck in India. We're hoping that the Abu Dhabi authorities will follow suit soon, and more of the residents will be able to come back to their second home very soon. All of this is in the build-up to Expo. There is the Dubai Expo starting on October 1, which we will have a very big participation from India. It's very clear that by sheer dint of our proportion of population, by our connections that we have in India, we will be the largest participant at the Dubai Expo. But not only will we try and showcase at the India Pavilion the wonderful success stories of Indians in the UAE, but what we are striving to do in the future. We will also be having participation of school children, hopefully, in various cultural events to try and have a greater sense of involvement of the Indian community here with the Expo, which will be running for 6 months. Diwali will clearly be celebrated in a big way by the Expo authorities, and we will add to it in our own way to see how we can make it even more spectacular. In addition, I should tell you that there is a lot of the service staff for the Expo authorities will be coming from India. We've already had requests from ministers here to ease that up. I've said we will facilitate that in due course. We would want them to also, of course, start bringing in normal visitor visas in due course, and we're hoping that sometime in September they will start that in the build-up to Expo. But it just tells you about the strength of our relations, the importance of our community, not just for those living here and working here, but even those in India, how important the Indian population is, the Indian people are for the functioning of this country. And I think that is something which is well appreciated by the UAE authorities. And of course, we acknowledge their support that they have given us through this period of very difficult times for the country and, of course, for our community. The bilateral agenda, of course, has been continuing, and you'll be glad to know that we did have a couple of high-level visits even in the last few months. We had His Highness Sheikh Abdullah visited India for talks in February, and we had our External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar. He was here in April for continuing talks. We are focusing a lot on trade and economy. We are also looking at, of course, how we can continue ensuring that the Indian community is safe and prosperous. We are aware that there are a lot of people from our community who've had difficult times, who've lost jobs. We're trying to see how we can upskill, reskill our people and see that they can come back with other kind of opportunities. This is an ongoing process that we will continue working on. But, and we are also very keen. We've now launched a new program where we want to push for exports from India in a very big way. I'll be talking about that in other contexts today later on. But just suffice it to say for the moment that we are pushing very hard on export push. And UAE being such an important recipient of exports from India, a very, very large, the third largest trading partner for India, will be key to the success of our program. And finally, just to say that as we embark on this India at 75, the role of the Indian community here is paramount in this relationship, in what they have contributed and what they can continue to contribute. And with representatives like you here, but the thousands and hundreds of thousands of you watching, hopefully on your screens, I want to say that it is without you, it is very difficult for us to proceed, and we always have you at the back of our mind whenever we think in terms of taking forward our bilateral agenda. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indian Council for Cultural Relations has organized a cultural gala event depicting various dance forms and music styles of India to mark the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I hope you enjoy this program.
Namaskar and greetings on the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. As the tricolor unfolds at the Red Fort this 15th August, we will be marking a historic milestone in the journey of a civilizational state towards a contemporary nation. This is certainly a moment for celebration, but equally one for introspection and renewed resolve. In the 75 years that have passed, we, the people of India, have displayed a huge collective commitment to creating a vibrant democracy, a modern economy, and an energetic civil society. To that end, we have drawn on the efforts of untold and often unknown freedom fighters, as also masses of citizens who nurtured their spirit. We therefore pay homage to those whose sacrifices make our tomorrow possible. In this period, we have also seen the world change profoundly. Significant shifts, starting with the economy and extending to politics, culture, and beyond, have driven a rebalancing process that creates a multipolar world. In such a reality, the capabilities, influence, and the very personality of our nation has a growing impact on the world order. This ability to shape global developments through an optimal mix of hard and soft power constitutes the essence of our diplomacy. Our heritage, traditions, and practices are once again getting the recognition that they have long deserved. The celebration of the International Day of Yoga is symbolic of that development. This anniversary offers us an opportunity to present to the world many other facets of our rich and diverse culture. As a democratic polity, a pluralistic society, and an innovative economy, and as a culture of unmatched diversity, our contributions have a real weight and value. Our ability to harmonize tradition and modernity stands out in particular. It is in this spirit that we mark the Amrit Mahotsav. We commence a period of connecting the world closer to India and enhancing its appreciation of the many ways in which we enrich global society. I congratulate the ICCR for holding this special event, and I'm confident that its endeavors will help give the celebrations a special luster.
Ooh. घट अंतर बाग बगीचे इसी में सिरजनहारा इस घट अंतर सात समंदर इसी में 9 लाख तारा इस घट अंतर पारस मोती इसी में पर खनहारा इस घट अंतर अनहद गरजे इसी में फूटा फुहारा कहत कबीर सुनो भई साधो इसी में साईं हमारा चंदा छलके यही घट माही आंधी आँखन सूझे नाही यही घट चंदा यही घट सूर यही घट गाजे अनहद दूर यही घट बाजे तबल निशान बहिरा शब्द सुने नहीं कान जब लग मेरी करे जब लग मेरी करे तब लग काज एको नहीं सरे तागड़ दग ता हम ताहा ता ता थाम थे तागड़ दग ता हम ताहा ता ता थाम थे तागड़ दग ता हम ताहा ता ता थाम थे तागड़ दग ता हम ताहा ता ता थाम थे तागड़ दग ता हम ताहा ता ता थाम थे तागड़ दग ता हम ताहा ता ता
के जेणाम जेणाम ताकी टाथीन तेना ताकड़ तकता जेंके जेणाम ताकी टाथीन तेना कीटा ताकड़ तकता कुकुंदारी कीटा त्रेकड़ जेणा कीटा त्रेकड़ जेणा त्रेकड़ जेणा ताकड़ तकता जेणा थे ताकड़ तकता जेणा थे ताकड़ तकता जेणा
थे दगड़ दगदा हम ताहा तादा थे दगड़ दगदा हम ताहा तादा थे दगड़ दगदा हम ताहा तादा थे दगड़ दगदा हम ताहा तादा
ताकड़ तकता जेणा ताकुंदारी जेणा ताकड़ तकता जेणा ताकुंदारी जेण कीणाम ताकीटा त्रेकड़ ताक जेणा कीणाम ताकीटा त्रेकड़ ताक जे ताकड़ तकता जेणा ताकड़ तकता जेणा ताकड़ तकता जेण ताकड़ तकता जेणा ताकड़ तकता जेणा थे ताकड़ तकता जेणा थे ताकड़ तकता जेणा
थे दगड़ दगदा हम ताहा तादा 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 ताकत है ता हम ताहा तादा धाधा तेरे तक धाधा तेरे दा हम ताहा तादा धाधा तेरे तक धाधा तेरे दा हम ताहा तादा कोकुंदारी कीटा त्रिकड़ झेड़ा कीटा ता हम ताहा तादा कोकुंदारी कीटा त्रिकड़ झेड़ा कीटा ता हम ताहा तादा
त्रिकड़ जेणा
ता हम ताहा तादा त्रिकड़ झेड़ा ता हम ताहा तादा
तत्थे 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 थे 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 दिंदा ता ता दिन दिंदा ता ताक दिन दिंदा ता ता दिन दिंदा ता ताक दिन दिंदा ता ता दिन दिंदा ता ताक दिन दिंदा ता ता दिन दिंदा ता ता दिन ता थे ता थे ता थे ता थे दिना कृतक दिना कृतक दिना कृतक दिना कृतक दिंग न धा 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 ताक दिन धा
नग्ना रक्तनयना नादापुरी नलिनिधा
सरस चतुरंग गाओ सब मिले, सरस चतुरंग गाओ सब मिले, सुरीले रसीले सुर ताल सुन, सुरीले रसीले सुर ताल सुन, सब नर नारी मिले आनंद मनाओ, सब नर नारी मिले आनंद मनाओ, सरस चतुरंग गाओ सब मिले, सरस चतुरंग।
तिगदा तिग तिग तिगदा तिग तिगदा थेया 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 तत 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 तिरग दादा दादा तिरग 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 दादा तीना 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 धा तीना 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 धा तीना 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 धा
तोम ता ना ना दिर 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 तोम ता ना ना तोम ता ना ना दिर 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 तोम ता ना सनि ध म ग म ध नि सनि ध म ग म रे ध ग म ध नि सा ग म ध नि सा ग म तोम ता ना ना दिर 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 तोम ता ना ना दिर 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 ता ना 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 ता दा रे तरे दानि दानि सा ग म द ग म द नि सनि ध नि सा नि ध म ध नि ध म म ग प म ग रे ध ग म ध नि सनि ध नि सा सम सनि ध नि सा सम सनि ध नि सा सम
धगिन तिट धगिन धागे दिना के दाते ते गण गण ता धा ता धा गिल 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 धा ता धा गिल गिल तड़ धा ता धा
सरस चतुरंग गाओ सब मिले, सरस चतुरंग।
तगिट दिगिट 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 धा तगिट दिगिट तगिट दिगिट धा तगिट दिगिट तगिट दिगिट धा
सरस चतुरंग सरस चतुरंग सरस चतुरंग गाओ सब में
संग ढोल बाजे ठाई ठाई ढम ढम गाना गाड़ा संग ढोल बाजे ठाई ठाई ढम ढम गा। अरे धिन धड़ाक आजा उड़ के सराक पैरों से बेड़ी जरा खोल न गाड़े संग ढोल बाजे ठाई ठाई ढम ढम गाना गाड़े संग ढोल बाजे ठाई ठाई ढम ढम गा। रे खट खट हाँ खट खट बाजे दस तक वो भी अब ना आया रे तब से हाँ देखी राहें कि अब तू खोल बाहें आजा। घुमड़ घूमे रे मचले रे मोरा मन गूंजे रे बालम की बोल गाड़े संग ढोल बाजे ठाई ठाई ढम ढम गाना गाड़े संग ढोल बाजे ठाई ठाई ढम ढम गा। अरे धीन धड़ाक आजा उड़ के सराट पैरों से बेड़ी जरा खोल न गाड़े संग ढोल बाजे ठाई ठाई ढम ढम गाना गाड़े संग ढोल बाजे ठाई ठाई ढम ढम गा।
ਬੱਲੇ ਬੱਲੇ ਜੀ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਦਾ ਰੰਗ ਦੇਖ ਲੋ ਬਿਨਾ ਡੋਰ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਡਦੀ ਪਤੰਗ ਦੇਖ ਲੋ ਅੱਜ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਹੋਏ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਮਲੰਗ ਦੇਖ ਲੋ ਬਿਨਾ ਡੋਰ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਡਦੀ ਪਤੰਗ ਦੇਖ ਲੋ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਦਿਖੀਆਂ ਛੁਰੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਦਿਖੀਆਂ ਛੁਰੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਜਾਵਣ ਹੱਥ ਨਾ ਆਵੜ ਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਭੁੰਡੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਰੇ ਹੋਏ ਡੰਗ ਦੇਖ ਲੋ ਓ ਬੱਲੇ ਬੱਲੇ ਜੀ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਦਾ ਰੰਗ ਦੇਖ ਲੋ ਬਿਨਾ ਡੋਰ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਡਦੀ ਪਤੰਗ ਦੇਖ ਲੋ
To all the distinguished guests who've joined us today, as well as our dear friends and well-wishers who have virtually joined the celebrations of the 75th Independence Day of India. Thank you so much. Light refreshment boxes have been arranged for all our guests, keeping in mind the COVID-19.